They're going to probably be arresting me just because we want to have a good time.
Multiple safes broken into, drawers ripped open, closets ransacked, boxes of gun ammo, and Grammy Awards. New images from TMZ show inside Diddy's ransacked Beverly Hills mansion during the coast-to-coast raids where no arrests were made.
People in the home are traditionally detained during raids, so they don't flee and so they don't destroy evidence.
The rapper's attorney calls it a
court case rewind. Sean Diddy Combs facing sex trafficking and racketeering charges. A jury set to be seated on Monday. And the retrial of Karen Reed, who's accused of running down her Boston police officer boyfriend and leaving him to die in the snow. Both have pleaded not guilty. We want to bring in ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer with what's happened so far and what to expect this week. Brian, thanks for being here. Let's start with the Combs case. You were in the courtroom on Friday. We thought that the jury was supposed to be seated then. It was moved to Monday. What happened? What can we expect?
In the world of fame, fortune, and secrets, one name towers over it all: P. Diddy. But when the gates to his empire were raided, a shocking truth emerged, one that could change everything we know about the mogul. Thousands of bottles of lubricant, multiple allegations, and a new mysterious victim are all set to make headlines. Could P. Diddy's empire really come crashing down? We're diving deep into the explosive scandal that might just break the internet.
First and foremost, Cassie's expected to be the third witness to testify. So it could be Monday, it could be Tuesday, but it's so important because it goes to the heart of both arguments for the prosecution and the defense. The prosecution, they're saying that this video is an example of multiple instances of assault and sexual battery against Cassie by Sean Combs as a part of this criminal enterprise, that racketeering allegation they have here, and the sex trafficking, that he used coercion or threats thereof to traffic her across state lines.
It started in March 2024 with the sudden and dramatic raid of two of P. Diddy's lavish estates, one in Miami and another in Los Angeles. What was uncovered shocked everyone. Over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant, firearms, and what could be the most damning evidence of all: electronic files that might just be the smoking gun in this case. But this wasn't just another celebrity scandal, it was something much darker.
But for Sean Combs' defense, they're saying, and it came out on Friday, a little hint of their defense, that he and Cassie were in, again, this is the defense's argument, not mine, that he and Cassie were in a very tumultuous and domestic violence-based relationship, that they both hit each other, and that the incident they're going to see in this video and that you might see in testimony are isolated incidents of domestic abuse, but not for the purposes of trafficking. So that video is going to be very important for the interpretation of the jury as to what this case is really about.
The term freak-offs started circulating in the case. Elaborate sex performances allegedly arranged, directed, and sometimes recorded by Diddy and his team. The prosecution claims these freak-offs involved drugs to keep victims compliant. And even more shockingly, the recordings were used as blackmail. Could this evidence be enough to take down one of Hollywood's biggest figures?
The latest is that we are continuing on with investigators who are a part of this case. A sergeant who supervised the infamous now former state trooper, Michael Proctor. He was testifying about what was happening in this investigation, what was found, and a few things stood out in this cross-examination on Friday. Text messages between Karen Reed and Brian Higgins, an ATF officer, and the defense seemed to insinuate that there was some sort of relationship going on to try to create an alternative suspect, that there's another reason why John O'Keefe might have been killed other than what the prosecution is putting forward. Also, this video outside of John O'Keefe's home where you can see at about 5:07 in the morning, Karen Reed takes her SUV and appears to make contact with John O'Keefe's vehicle. And that's important because it's all about this broken taillight.
And then there's the $5 million NDA. Allegedly, Diddy paid victims millions to keep their silence. Among these victims, one person has come forward in a way no one expected. Victim number 5. Though their identity remains hidden, their testimony could hold the key to the case. And this revelation, it could change everything. The defense has been scrambling to prevent this new witness from testifying, but the judge has ruled otherwise. Could this mystery witness expose the deepest, darkest secrets of Diddy's empire?
Yeah, so on Thursday night, the judge said that they had 45 prospective jurors. On Friday, was supposed to whittle it down to that magic number of 12 jurors and 6 alternates. But one of the 45 actually got, for lack of a better term, cold feet, and so they don't want to be on the case anymore. And so everyone involved was really worried that if they picked a final 12 on Friday, come Monday morning, that might happen again. And if that happens on the day of trial and you're losing jurors, then it doesn't happen. So the idea was bring all 43 people on Monday morning. The process should only take about 10 to 20 minutes. And at 8:30 in the morning, hopefully we'll have 12 jurors and 6 alternates, and we'll be able to start with opening statements soon after.
Something tells me there might be more twists and turns, too, as we're just getting started with this trial. We did mention opening statements expected on Monday. Also, we are expecting to hear from ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura this week. We should note that there's this the video that was obtained by CNN reportedly showing Diddy kicking, dragging Ventura, who was his girlfriend at the time. Diddy later issuing an apology. A judge ruled that it can be shown in court, but Combs' defense team argues that the video was manipulated.
This case has divided the public. On one hand, fans and celebrities are coming forward, expressing their shock and support. But on the other hand, people are questioning the motivations of these victims and the true story behind the NDA. We've seen 50 Cent mock Diddy, while some influencers have hinted at their belief that Diddy could be a victim of a Hollywood conspiracy. But as the trial date looms, who will the public side with?
All right, welcome back to the channel again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all so much for coming over. Now, we all know that some people are getting cold feet. They're having trouble contacting and finding witnesses, and some don't want to testify. This case is getting crazy. I said I'm going to try to follow this as much as possible. These days are very important as far as you got tomorrow, which is Monday, where they're supposed to pick up. But I was like, I'm trying to pay attention to Friday, Saturday, Sunday to see if anything gets strange or weird. But it says, Diddy prosecutors reveal new witness, victim 5, who may testify using real name.
What makes this case even more complicated is the massive digital footprint. The FBI has seized files, photos, and recordings that could be the smoking gun in this case. FBI expert Tracy Walder explains that the real treasure trove lies in the digital files. These could not only prove the existence of the freak-offs, but could reveal years of abuse, witness intimidation, and much more. The prosecution is building a case around this evidence, but could it all be enough to convict Diddy?
It's important to note that CNN is denying these claims made by the Diddy defense team. Our team has reached out to CNN, but we have not yet heard back. We'll keep you posted on that. In the meantime, both sides on the Diddy case are going to be in New York in that federal courtroom today at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Surely this is going to come up. And what does it do for Diddy's case overall? Let's talk about the trial. I want to bring in our legal eagles now with me, Ves Mittev, David Bruno, and Jennifer Brandt. I want to go around the room and ask you all how this is going to affect the prosecution. I want to start with my prosecutor, my former prosecutor, I should say, his defense attorney now, David Bruno. What do you say, please?
While much of the public's attention has been on the physical evidence, the bottles, the drugs, and the guns, there's something else at play. Money. Allegedly, Diddy used $5 million NDAs to silence key individuals involved in this case. One of the key victims, who has been publicly speaking out from jail, claims he received a $5 million payout to stay quiet. This raises the question, how far did Diddy go to keep this scandal under wraps, and how much control did he really have?
Yeah, sure. What the defense is trying to do is keep this out of that trial. I mean, it is damaging. Obviously, we've all seen the video of the violence, and it really does corroborate a lot of the pressure, force, coercion that's required in the indictment itself. So what the defense is saying is this is not authentic, and it's part of what the prosecutor would have to show to admit the evidence that is fairly and accurately depicts what it does. And if you attack the authenticity of it, potentially the defense could keep it out. And that's really what they're trying to do. It's interesting to me that this is very specific in a sense that in the joint letter, U.S. attorney and defense, the defense is saying that it was uploaded into a free software.
In addition to the physical evidence, the prosecution is also building a case around the disturbing allegations of coercion and intimidation. Victims claim that Diddy and his team would not only exploit them, but also use threats and blackmail to keep them silent. Allegedly, some of Diddy's associates carried weapons to intimidate victims, and these guns were seized in the raid, including AR-15s with defaced serial numbers. Could this be the final nail in the coffin for Diddy?
Bombshell allegations from Diddy's defense team. The music mogul's lawyers are alleging that this video showing Diddy physically assaulting his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura was altered and then the original copy destroyed. In a joint letter to the judge, Sean Diddy Combs' defense team says that they subpoenaed that video from CNN, and then the news organization provided copies of the footage to the defense. The original video was originally distributed in packaged form.
New surveillance footage obtained exclusively by CNN appears to corroborate some of the allegations of abuse against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. The video, captured on multiple cameras, shows Combs assaulting his then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, in a hallway at a Los Angeles hotel in March 2016.
As the story unfolds, reactions from fans and celebrities are pouring in. Some, like 50 Cent, have taken to social media, mocking Diddy and adding fuel to the fire. But it's not just the usual suspects. Celebrities like Lil' Kim and even Cassie have been drawn into the conversation, with some expressing concern over how these charges might impact their own careers. On the other side, Diddy's diehard supporters are questioning the legitimacy of the claims, seeing this as an attempt to bring down a man who built an empire. The question is, where will the public stand once the trial begins? The trial is fast approaching, and with it, the biggest test of P. Diddy's career. Jury selection began on May 5th, and with opening statements set for May 12th, the stakes have never been higher. Both sides are gearing up for a battle, with the prosecution ready to present their digital evidence, physical findings, and witness testimonies. On the other hand, Diddy's defense team is known for their aggressive tactics. Will they be able to poke holes in the case? Or is this a fight they can't win?
Be fair and impartial, even if they've heard of Sean Combs. And really, who hasn't? There are no cameras in federal courts anywhere in the United States. And so this trial will not be televised, but we and a lot of other reporters will be there covering it. And that's how the public will learn not only the evidence against Sean Combs, but we'll be looking for how he reacts to it. We've seen him a lot in court, and he presents fairly upbeat. He comes in with a smile on his face, hugs for his lawyers, gestures to members of his family who have sat in court there to support him. He looks a lot grayer than he did when he was first arrested. You're in jailhouse beige, although at trial he may well be in civilian clothes.
P. Diddy's defense team has a tough task ahead. With mounting evidence against him, their strategy seems clear. They need to discredit the prosecution's evidence, especially the digital files. The defense will likely focus on challenging how the evidence was collected, logged, and handled. It's a risky move, but it's one that could either clear Diddy's name or seal his fate.
I mean, that's as specific as it comes as to what they did, how they did it, and when they did it. So it will be interesting to see. Just final point, Cassie could still testify about it. Diddy also gave a statement after apologizing about it. So even if the video's out, the prosecutor could still admit it other ways.
Exactly. David, thank you for that. We've got that statement from Diddy. Let's roll the tape of that, please.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that. I was up. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now.
Okay. Jennifer Brandt, let me go to you next, please. Your thoughts about how problematic this is.
As jury selection wraps up and opening statements approach, the question remains, will Diddy walk free, or will this be the end of his reign in Hollywood? The prosecution believes that the new victim, along with the mountain of evidence, will make it nearly impossible for Diddy to escape conviction. But with his wealth, influence, and high-powered legal team, it's still too early to predict the outcome. What we do know is this trial is about to become one of the most watched in celebrity history.
Well, I mean, I agree with David. The defense has been trying to keep this out for quite some time. So this is not the first attempt to do it, but it might be successful because we have to see, was the video altered? Is there an original copy? It's hard to believe that there wouldn't be. And CNN is denying these claims. So we need to figure out the facts and really what's going on. But regardless, I mean, this video does not go to the heart of the charges against Diddy. It just is being used to show his violent tendencies. So I think there are other, there's other evidence, other witnesses that can certainly help support the charges against him in the prosecution, making their case. So I don't. It is critical in that it's, we're all visual and we want to, seeing it is certainly upsetting, but even without it, I don't think it means that Diddy, goes free.
No matter the outcome, one thing is clear. This case will forever change the landscape of Hollywood. If Diddy is convicted, it will not only affect his career, but will send shockwaves throughout the entertainment industry. The charges against him could open the door to a larger conversation about abuse of power, exploitation, and the dark side of fame. Hollywood may never be the same again.
Right, Jennifer, right. The video of the incident would be the best evidence of what happened. And here, as you and David noted, it can be discussed. Cassie can testify to it. Who knows if there would be any other witnesses to this, perhaps someone from the hotel who was watching that security footage at the time handled the tape, but again, nothing like seeing the video in the original copy. Vess, let me go to you on this issue. So I am just gobsmacked that the original copy wouldn't be saved by that hotel. The fact that this was sold off, but we know it was. Okay, CNN gets this copy of the original, and then we really don't know if they still have the original or what, but Diddy's team is saying it's destroyed. Vess, what concerns do you think, if any, CNN may have?
As we await the start of Diddy's trial, the world is watching. What happens in the courtroom will shape the future of one of the most powerful men in entertainment. Do you think Diddy is guilty, or is this all just a ploy to bring him down? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more updates. And hit that notification bell so you won't miss any of our coverage on this developing story.
None. From a 30,000-foot view, this does absolutely nothing for Sean Combs' case. I mean, barring a presidential pardon, he's going to spend the rest of his life behind bars. So CNN's already gone on record saying that the video was unaltered. Doug Wigdor, Cassie's lawyer, has absolutely denied the claims. And as everyone here has talked about this morning, his own admission on an Instagram post is going to make this video absolutely admissible as a prior bad act, as a party admission. It goes in under multiple theories. And another interesting thing I should note is that oftentimes in these cases, it's the defense that wants this video in. They're just making a record, whether it's for appeal or whether it's for the case. They want this video in because they're going to end up, a lot of the times they'll take portions of the video, they'll slow it down. They want to break it down to its molecular level so they can show the jury, look, this isn't as bad as it looks. Sure, sped up, it looks one way, but if you slow it down, if you take it pixel by pixel, it's a completely different version of events. So I think CNN, they have a very low stake in this game. They aired it. He admitted it. It's been all over every single news outlet. It's been on social media. There's no putting this genie back in the bottle.
As jury selection moves toward its final stages and the much anticipated opening statements loom on the horizon, the central question remains unresolved. Will P. Diddy, the mogul who built an empire, ultimately walk free? Or will this trial mark the dramatic end of his reign in Hollywood? The prosecution has made it clear they believe the evidence against him, paired with the powerful testimony of victim number 5, will present an almost insurmountable case. The mountain of evidence, ranging from disturbing video recordings to witness testimonies, leaves little room for Diddy to maneuver. But let's not forget, Diddy's wealth, influence, and one of the most high-powered legal teams in the country have the potential to sway the course of this trial in ways we can't yet predict. The drama in the courtroom is only just beginning. And whether he's convicted or acquitted, this case will...
To me, this does absolutely nothing for Diddy's case. It's mere fodder for it. That's it. He's not seeing the light of day.
Ves, thank you for that. Another question for you, please. As you're no stranger to high-profile cases, our viewers might recall that you're representing Rex Heuermann's children. Rex Heuermann is accused in the Gilgo Beach murders case. And I'm curious if you think that Diddy's children should be speaking to the press at this time or avoiding the press at this time pre-trial.
Well, I'm a big proponent of avoiding the press at all costs, absent having some point to make. So, we've seen the outpouring of support. We've seen that they've gone on social media. We've seen that they've issued statements in support. And of course, every one of those children is a potential witness by the prosecution. And that's the risk you take when you're trying the case, both in the court of public opinion and in the courtroom, that you can be subpoenaed to testify at any time and understand something as innocuous as a throwaway comment or as an Instagram post or a hashtag when you're confronted with it, in the very cold, lonely space in the witness box in front of 12 silent jurors in a hushed courtroom. It takes on a whole different persona. And of course, that's the danger with making statements, extrajudicial and otherwise. So if it were me, I would be telling these children not to say anything except through their lawyers, just to say that to let the process run its course and that they stand by their father, which is really the only thing they can say.
Regardless of the trial's ultimate outcome, one thing is certain. The implications of this case will forever change the landscape of Hollywood. If Diddy is convicted, it will not just shatter his career, but will also send shockwaves throughout the entire entertainment world. The charges against him are not just about one man. They represent a deeper, more unsettling conversation about abuse of power, exploitation, and the often hidden dark side of fame. These allegations are a stark reminder of the control and influence that powerful individuals hold over others, and how easily the lines between fame and exploitation can blur. Hollywood's glittering image may never be the same again, and this trial could spark a much-needed dialogue about accountability that resonates beyond the courtroom.